talk about the basic boxing stance for beginners if you've never even heard about boxing. And what you're gonna do, basic right-handed, left-handed stance, all right? If I'm right-handed, we're gonna start in a hip width apart stance, toes straight ahead, and I'm gonna bring my right leg straight back behind where it was. Okay, I wanna not bring it back behind my front foot like I'm standing on a tightrope. You know, we always say get off the rope. That means you get that distance between back and your knees, okay? So I wanna open up my stance. My front foot is my radar. I'm always gonna point it directly at my opponent or where I'm going in boxing. Back foot, in a perfect world, it's about a 45-degree angle off to the side. I don't want it pointing straight ahead. I don't want it pointing backwards. You can open it up a little bit, but don't turn it too much. And my back heel is almost always off the ground, okay? Now with any athletic activity or any sport, first thing you can do is you're gonna bend your knees and get an athletic position. That helps keep your balance, keeps your center of gravity a little lower to the ground, and it helps generate power when you start moving and punching, okay? Next, I wanna bring my elbows, my arms into my sides of my body in a relaxed position. I'm gonna bring my hands up. This is basically my stance. I wanna keep this in the pocket, my elbows in, and it's a very relaxed position. You see some people all tense and tight with their hands up high, or they pick their hands up extra high and they leave their body open. Ideally, we're covering everything because we're in that lower squatted stance. And the other thing is, I'm gonna take my hip, my knee, and my shoulder and bring it back a little bit. What that does, it makes me a smaller target to my opponent. And it also allows me to generate power when I start punching, all right? So I want the angle, I want my front foot pointed straight ahead of my opponent. I want the soft knees, elbows in, hands up, and I'm always gonna focus directly at the opponent and stay in this position right here. So this is the basic boxing stance. There's always gonna be variations, but I have to have a reason to change from this.
The first thing we're gonna start off with is footwork, because that's the first thing you can learn in boxing. You learn to hold your balance. So we're gonna start off with the footwork first. So, all right, keep your feet up, your back feet up off the ground. Put your hands by your chin. And what we're gonna do is the first thing you learn to do, you learn to walk. That's how you create power in your punches. So we're gonna turn and walk. We're gonna start walking. Step, 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 step. Step one more time. Step back, step back, step back. Step back, stop. That's the first thing you learn before you ever throw any punches at all. The first thing you learn is to learn how to step. That creates power in your punches anyway. So you gotta learn how to hold yourself up. And now, after you learn that, then we got to learn to do some other things. That's as far as, we're gonna learn to pivot. So basically, I'm gonna get in front of him. I'm gonna walk toward him one way. He's gonna turn the other way. And that's how you learn to pivot. So keep your guy off balance. So here we're gonna do. I'm gonna walk towards him, he's gonna turn back. I walk to the side, he'll turn away. Turn front feet. Turn back. I walk to him, you step back. Step forward. Turn. Turn again. Turn again. These all keep your fighter off balance. This is what this is for. Teaching the fighter how to turn and pivot, and basically that's what you need to do in terms keep him from hitting you. So you're gonna need to turn.
And one thing you're looking for, and this is the way I think about it, if I want to move forward, my front foot's always gonna go forward first. If I want to go to my left foot is gonna move first. If I want to go backwards, my back foot is gonna move first. Right foot move first. So you don't want to cross your legs. I'm not going to take a big
target. That control the target. Keep the target and you're off balance.
Front foot, think of it as your radar. That's pointed at your opponent. You need to pay attention, stay facing him. If I'm standing like this, I'm not ready for anything.
And basically, like he said, when you stand like that, you actually off balance. Go back, turn it again. The way you stand the first time. When you like this, you're off balance. You see? So you don't want to be like this way and keep your feet all behind you all the time. That way you can have pressure on your back leg. So if I pitch it, he ain't going nowhere. And if I ain't want to push him, if he just turns, I got to set him up again. And that's what boxing is, all about setting the target up. If you don't set the target up, how you gonna hit the target? That's the first thing you learn in boxing. Before you learn anything, you learn how to pivot, you learn how to step, you learn how to walk. Now, after you learn how to walk, now we're gonna learn how to do some other stuff as turn as pivot, turn, roll, slip, all that's a part of boxing. So now I'm gonna walk to him, and then he's gonna step back, and you're gonna do the whole thing. Step back, turn, turn back, turn your front feet, turn back, turn back, turn back. The reason why you do this, that means I can never trap him. I never can trap him in one position. So if I walk to him on the side, turn your front feet, turn back. That means I can never lower him in a position where I can trap him. Step back, step forward, step forward. You know, it's unfamiliar, but really it's just like dancing. It's just like with a dance partner. If I turn, he turns. Turn, turn. That means I can never trap him because he ain't in a position for me to trap him. If I step forward, he gonna step back. I step back, step forward, turn, turn. That's the whole key of boxing, keeping them off balance all the time. And learn to pivot, learn to step, learn to roll, and all them things is what makes a great fighter. So you gotta do all that in order to be a complete fighter. That's part of it.
And how I get there, the basic stance, the steps are easy. If I want to move forward, I use my front foot. If I want to go to my left, it's always my left foot. If I want to back up, it's my back foot. If I want to move to the right, right foot. I don't want to take a small step forward and a big step forward. Now I'm in a bad position. I don't have my balance, I don't have my base. If Roger comes on me,
you want to keep your balance all the same all the time. Keep your feet this spread apart. Boom, boom. Keep your balance together all the time.
and everything's set up off of this basic stance, and my front foot always points at my opponent because that's where I need to pay attention.
That's the key. That's one of the things that you want to do. But also, even though he's doing the pivot, he's doing the stepping, now there's other things you can do off that, off what he's doing. I'm gonna show you a little other thing that we're gonna do. Get in front of me. Stand right there on the side here. Okay, now, he's in front of me, obviously, so I'm gonna swing at him. When I swing at him, I want you to roll under me and step right there. Drop your head, step right there. Drop. Now stay right there, stay right there, right there. Stay right, just stay right there. Okay. Yep, I want you to stay right there. Go back again. We'll try one more time, stay right there. I want you to step right there. Don't move, just step right there. And then you're gonna roll back. This is the key right here. We're gonna roll in. Come, bring both of your feet. Roll in. Stop. Now, he's already right next to me, so he can throw the punch right now. Boom, boom, roll back. Throw, throw, throw. That's how you roll punches. This is how you roll the right hand. Do it again. Step in. Roll in. Catch the hook. Catch the right hand. Roll back. Right hand. Hook. Right hand. That's how you roll under the right hand. Now, you're gonna roll under the left hook after that, because the person ain't gonna throw just one punch. We're gonna throw the right hand in the left hook. The first thing you do, I want you to roll under the right hand. Boom. Catch the hook, roll under the hook. Right hand. Hook. Right hand. Roll back in. Hook. Roll back in. Hook. Right hand. Roll back. Step till you turn. Turn. That's the same thing you learn to pivot from the beginning. All that's a part of boxing. You have to learn how to pivot when the time comes. Learn how to catch punches when the time comes. So we're going to do one other thing. We'll do one other thing to show them how to catch punches, roll under punches, and slip punches. So now, here we're going to do. Drop your arm to your waist, that side. Catch it, boom. Drop it, catch it, boom. Now he caught the body shot, that's a body shot. To the body, he caught it. To the body, he caught it. roll back, right hand, hook, right hand, roll in, hook, right hand, boom, roll back, right hook, right hand. That's the key to boxing. Knowing how to get position on the fighter. And even though you know what you seen what he seen you did earlier, what he did earlier, he gonna do that too. What? Get your hands up. Roll in. Hook right hand. Roll back. Right hand. Hook. Right hand. Turn out. Throw. Turn. Boom. Same thing. The pivot, he started with the pivot, he end with the pivot. That's getting yourself in position to punch. That's the name of the game, getting yourself in position to punch. Hit and not get hit. Well, try it with me.
What I don't want to do is I don't want to put myself here and my opponent's there. I can't do anything but get hit. I don't want to put myself over here. He's got the advantage position. So all this stuff is to fight to keep the proper position so I can be the one in charge.
Keep you right in front of the target. The object is be right in front of the target, but still don't get hit by the target. That's why you roll your head, that's why you slip punches, that's why you catch punches, because that's all part of boxing.
Jab's number one. The bread and butter of any boxer should be the most relied upon punch, okay? So I'm starting in my basic boxing stance, my hands in home base, my eyes focused on my opponent, and I'm using my front foot as my radar. All my punches, 1 through 6, are gonna land in a perfect world right on top of that front foot or in line with my front foot, okay? Jab starts from my chin, comes straight out, turns over at the very end. I'm protecting my chin by my shoulder. My right hand is up on my face where it's supposed to be, and I'm not too vulnerable here, okay? It's right in line with my front foot and directly in line with my opponent, and my eyes are looking right down like the barrel of a gun. Now I'm not finished with the jab until I come back to position, okay? Now the other key to the jab is steps, and my jab lands at the same time as my front foot. So the jab and the punch occur at the same time. It kind of gives the punch timing and placement. So I'm looking to turn over the punch right on the step, okay? So a little bit more in real time with the step. Notice I'm not back till my elbow's in and my hand's up. I'm not finished. The other do's and don'ts. What I don't want to do is I don't want to step in order to jab, because what that does, it brings me off balance. It brings my face, my head in towards my opponent, and it puts me out of position. So the timing is important with the placement of the punch. The foot and the hand land exactly at the same point. Okay? If I throw multiple jabs, multiple steps, multiple punches, full range of motion, I come all the way in, all the way back. Here will be a double jab. Okay? 2 steps, 2 punches. Now, the step is to give timing to my jab, and depending upon the distance I need to cover is whether I step or not. So if I'm in range, I step, but I don't need to go anywhere. But I still want to put timing to the punch. Okay? Now, if I need to gain ground, I'm going to move my feet in the direction of my opponent or my target. So I'm going to step in with the punches. Okay? If you look at the mechanics, my lead hand, lead foot move out at the same time. When my hand comes back to my chin, my back foot comes up to my stance. So that way I'm always returning back to my basic stance. Back out with my back leg. That way I'm not leaving myself stretched out of position. Okay? That's the basic bread and butter jab. I might vary it in certain ways by throwing an up jab. I might have a style where I drop my lead hand a little bit and I'm going to throw a kind of flip up jab. I'm going to get my head out of the way. I'm slipping somebody else's jab and I'm coming right up to the chin. I still have that timing with my punch and my step. Okay? That's another variation. Another one would be a jab to the body. Now here is the only time where I may lunge in and lunge back. I'm a little vulnerable on the jab to the body, so I want to make sure I get all my space back. I'm still going to step. Generally, if this is all I'm finishing with, I want to lunge back into position, almost like fencing. For the most of the other time, I want my back foot to come in after the jab. So on the jab to the body, I turn, make myself long, stretch myself out, keep my right hand up, boom, jab to the body, come all the way back to position. Now I'm at a safe distance from my opponent. if I'm walking up to Roger, we're fighting, and I'm not doing nothing, he's thinking of the 10 ways he's gonna mess me up.
Right.
Now, if I come at him and I'm doing, now he's worried.
Now I got to think, because now he's doing something that I ain't seeing, because I don't want to get hit anyway. So I got to move my head. I got to do some thinking myself. But the key is, as you said, this is the #1 thing in a fight right here. This, not this, this. This is what opened up the door. And most times a great fighters have this. Mike Tyson was great when he had this. Ali had this. Ray Robinson had this. My nephew. These are the things that you need to be able to control an opponent, an actual opponent. I mean, you can't just fight. You're gonna always find somebody who can outfight you, but you may not find nobody who can outthink you. And when you use this is a thinking man's weapon. Because now I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit you in the jab to the body. I'm gonna hit you jab. I'm gonna hit you the hook. I'm gonna hit you double jab. I'm gonna go back to the body, to the head, boom, wrist, boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna keep you thinking all the time with my left hand, because that's the key to boxing.
I'm reacting to what he's doing.
Right.
I'm not thinking of what I'm gonna do to him,
Right.
because he's got full control over
All he wanna do is get in. I know all he wanna do is get in. So as long as he's trying to get in, all I'm doing is just touch him, and I can hit him with this when I want to, but I got to touch him first. That's the key. You got to touch him first. Keep the target in front of you, and then you can do what you want to do with the target.
First thing, obviously, the jab. You know, we want to know how to block the jab, slip the jab, parry the jab, and then we want to decide all the different ways we have to counter. And there's always something that's going to come naturally to you, but there's also going to be something that maybe your opponent's doing differently, and you might have to make adjustments. That's why it's good to know all the different ways to do certain things, okay? What Bronson's going to throw at me is a jab, and the basic is I'm just going to parry, okay? And we'll do a few, and we'll talk about it. Go ahead. Okay. As you can see, it's basically a flip of the wrist, okay? Now, as a coach, I like my fighters keeping their right hands more by the ear, not in front of the face, because here you're protected from a hook. Hook's got more power. It's also coming from outside of your field of vision. So you got that safety net up in case you don't see it coming, okay? A jab is coming straight down your face, right at you. You're seeing it coming. We can make the adjustment, all right? Certain things I don't want to do when I block the jab is I don't want to bring my head into block, okay? That puts me right, just like Bronson did, right in front of his right hand. I don't want to do that. I want to use my right hand against another right-handed fighter, okay? If I try to do it with my left hand, again, what am I opening myself up to? The right hand, okay? Now, there's ways around that, but this basic, if you know how to block it and what you're being aware of and what's the counter, then you know how to use that for your own benefit, okay? So now, it's not just enough to block the jab, I want to counter.